Welcome to the Rotary Times Show, a public service program presented by Rotary District 7610. On our programs, we talk with Rotarians and community leaders and discuss how Rotary International builds partnerships to support local, national, and world communities. I am your host, Rotarian Dr. Deborah Jackson from the Rotary Club of McLean, Virginia. The success of a Rotary Club is dependent on the club president. They lead, inspire, motivate, and connect their clubs with communities and others locally and around the world. Joining me remotely is Rotarian Juanita Balenger, who is the new president of the Rotary Club of Bailey's Crossroads, Virginia for the 2023-24 Rotary year. Welcome, President Juanita, to the Rotary Times.
Thank you, Deborah. It's a pleasure to be here with you this evening.
Yeah, we're excited to have you and learn more about the Bailey's Crossroads Club because they're always doing something magical. So we'd love to have our audience hear about the things that you are doing. But before we do that, I always like to open the show by having individuals learn a little bit about you personally. So tell us about your background and your life before Rotary. Like where you're from, where were you educated, those kinds of things.
Thank you. I was born in Washington, D.C., as well as my father was born in D.C. My mother was born in Havana, Cuba, and she came here to the States where she met my dad at the OAS. And about 5 months before I was born, she became a U.S. citizen. And she was very proud of becoming an American citizen. And when I was born, my parents lived in Arlington. I've grown up in Northern Virginia. And it was sort of circling back by joining the Bailey's Crossroads Rotary Club because my early years, I do remember Bailey's Crossroads, my parents taking me to the pony rides, sitting in the back seat at the drive-in theater on Route 7 where the area where Skyline Towers is. So I grew up here. I'm a graduate of Bishop O'Connell High School in Arlington, Mount St. Mary's University in Emmitsburg, Maryland. I went on to get a paralegal certificate from the Paralegal Institute. I have about 15 years of paralegal experience, but then I transitioned into a life of public service, working in the office of the governor here in Virginia, as well as the Virginia Attorney General's office, and at the federal level, the Department of Health and Human Services and the Administration for Community Living. So I believe my background in public service is a good transition into service above self in Rotary.
Absolutely, absolutely. How did you get involved with the Rotary Club of Bailey's Crossroads?
Well, when I moved back here from Richmond after working in the governor's office, past President Buzz Hawley, who was serving as president-elect, and I knew him, reached out to me and thought that Rotary Club of Bailey's Crossroads would be something good for me to join and check out. And he said, Juanita, you're going to know people in this club. And I walked into the room, and one of the first people I saw in there was past District Governor Burns Even, and as well as a few other Rotarians and my co-sponsor, former Supervisor Tina Trapnell. And I knew I was in the right place, and I was interested in getting more involved with the community and getting involved with local service projects.
Oh, wonderful. Well, tell us about your club, its size, when you meet, what day, the time.
So we meet Friday mornings, 7:30 to 8:30 at Goodwin House at Bailey's Crossroads on South Jefferson Street. We have right now 70 Rotarians in our club, and we are meeting through Facebook Live. So you can go to bxrrotary.org and on the homepage will be the link to Facebook Live.
Oh, wonderful. So people, you have a hybrid approach through your club. They can either come in person or watch virtually, correct?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's
With
wonderful.
Facebook Live, it's not just for our Rotarians that may not make it to the Friday morning meeting, but potential Rotarians, people just want to check us out. And we've had non-Rotarians online since I started July 1st. We transitioned from Zoom over to Facebook Live.
Okay. So do you still have your face-to-face breakfast on Friday mornings at 7:30?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We have a very nice breakfast buffet, and we start out. I ring the bell, do the initial pledge, invocation, introduction of guests. Then we break away for about 10 to 15 minutes of fellowship time, and then I have club announcements. And by 8 o'clock, introducing our speaker until 8:30. We conclude with our 50-50 raffle and the four-way test.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I can attest to the breakfast spread. I've had an opportunity to be at one of your breakfast meetings, and it was truly amazing. So I had a wonderful time. Food's good.
Yep.
And also the fellowship. Tell us, you spoke about your club functions, how you get through your meetings. Do you have a lot of guest speakers? Do you do socials amongst your club membership at all?
So we have speakers on Friday mornings. Now, this past Friday was a little different. I played the video from RI President Gordon McAnally when he announced his theme of Create Hope in the World in Orlando, Florida. And the Rotarians really enjoyed hearing that as far as, looking at what we can do to create hope in the world in the Bailey's Crossroads community. But in addition to that, we have monthly happy hours for those who work. We are having our first fellowship luncheon coming up in a couple of weeks. Early July, a group of us went and saw the movie Sound of Freedom, which is one of my initiatives focusing on combating human trafficking. And so we went to see that movie to learn more about all the issues and problems associated with human trafficking.
That's nice. So you all did that during the day for your membership, or was it just open to your membership?
That was, so the movie was for Rotarians, but the happy hours are open to non-Rotarians and the fellowship luncheons as well.
How has your club, and I've asked this of a number of clubs when they come on, since COVID, how has your club changed as a result of the pandemic? Have your meeting structures changed? I'm finding some clubs have reduced the number of meetings. Some are offering more. Some are looking at different, kinds of structures for their club. Has your club had to do any of that?
So during the COVID pandemic, our focus was just ensuring the health of our Rotarians, because we do have quite a few who are older adults, and so it behooved us to meet by Zoom and keep up the meetings. We had socials via Zoom in the evening, and sharing stories and recipes, and having speakers on in the evening and doing some of that fellowship. But when Goodwin House reopened for us to come back, we came back to meet in person. Zoom certainly helped, but when I took over as president, made the decision to switch over to Facebook Live, which will allow greater opportunity for non-Rotarians to listen in and come join us in a meeting. But we're still meeting every Friday. I discussed at my first meeting early July about really getting back to basics, having a greeter at the door. We brought the 50-50 raffle back. Some of the things that we had not been able to do during the pandemic. In November, we'll be getting back to delivering Thanksgiving dinners.
Okay, and hold that thought, because I want you to talk about that in my next question to you regarding community service. And I know Bailey's is very active in the community there. Talk about some of your community service programs now.
Yes, absolutely. Over the summer, we worked on meeting at the Moose Lodge and assembling 2,000 back-to-school kits for low-income for needy students in the Justice Pyramid School, and delivered those to several of the elementary schools, Glasgow Middle School, Justice High School. And coming up this fall, we will get back to identifying those families in need to deliver Thanksgiving dinners to those in need. And our traditional holiday projects such as toys for children in need, gift bags for older adults. And 1/3 of the older adults that receive these gift packages live in the eastern portion of Fairfax County, Bailey's, Crossroads, Annandale Falls Church. A new community service project that we started during the pandemic and we're continuing is working with Community Services Board here in Fairfax County, providing gift cards for people with physical, developmental, intellectual disabilities. And they were so excited about receiving the gift cards from us that they made an effort to get there the same day they received the email to pick up their gift cards.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. You all do so much. I almost hate to ask you if you have anything new. Is there anything new on the horizon that you would like to initiate during your presidency in the community?
Well, I would like to focus on awareness on human trafficking. I find that very important. I learned quite a bit about that issue when I was in the Attorney General's office, and have already had discussions with District Governor nominee Amelia Stansel on the issue. Another area of focus is our veterans, and we've already connected with a organization, Cook for Vets, they've come to speak to us, and we went out to support their event this summer. And we also had a speaker from MK Canine Service Dogs for our veterans. So those are two areas I would like to focus on this coming year.
Okay.
And one other important project that we do carry out. I'm going to have you to hold
that thought in terms of what the next one that you're going to talk about, because we need to take a short break and be right back and talk more with President Juanita Balenger. Please stay with us. Welcome back to the Rotary Times. We're here talking with Rotarian Juanita Balenger, the president of the Rotary Club of Bailey's Crossroads, Virginia, for the 2023-24 Rotary year. You were about to tell us one activity that's very special to you in community service before break. Would you like to share that with us now?
Sure. We will continue with our food packaging events. We've already secured the Moose Lodge for the first Saturday in 2024 to package meals for students in need, because a lot of them aren't, receiving 3 meals a day at home over the weekend. So we're going to be working on that project.
Wonderful.
And we're excited about that.
Now, we've talked locally, now let's talk internationally. Talk about some of your international programs.
Sure, absolutely. Mish Peters in our club, who serves as the Community Service Director in District 7610 and works at Justice High School. She spends her summers in Swaziland, now Eswatini, and we have supported her efforts with the school over there. And right now they're working on a dental clinic over there, and we have supported that through the global grant. Another project that we worked on in the spring was collecting bras for women. That's something that we take for granted here in the States, but a lot of women over there don't have that. And so we collected, I believe Mish told me, over 300 bras, and got those delivered to the women and young women over there in Eswatini, and they were just thrilled about that.
You know, it's so nice to be able to partner with and I know you've partnered with the McLean Club, Dr. Wilson, who's the dentist that goes over with Mish Peters for the Mishilo project. Those global grants are wonderful. So many clubs don't realize that these are real opportunities when you talk about globally to partner with some other area of the world to bring a service. So thank you all for what you're doing there as well. Which project do you find the most enjoyable?
Well, there's so many. I still believe in the projects that I was attracted to when I first joined Rotary Club of Bailey's Crossroads, the Thanksgiving dinners, because it's not just our Rotarians, but we work with the Interact Club at Justice High School, and the students there that come out and work with us, we let them carry the boxes to the doors, and we stand behind them. We're there with them, so they, they're not unsupervised. And that's just a thrill, seeing these families receive a meal and really enjoying the meaning of Thanksgiving. I definitely enjoy that project. And it started out as gift cards for the elderly. Now we just purchase the items online through Amazon and ship them out to the Fairfax County Area Agency on Aging. But that was a project that I began almost 13 years ago, learning about the needs of older adults who live by themselves. They have no family, and they're by themselves during the holiday season and don't have enough financial need, and so we work to support them.
Oh, you're doing a lot.
Yep.
Rotary's motto is service above self. Has that been helpful to you in your work life or business world, or just in personally?
It has been. As I mentioned earlier, I've been in public service, and when you're in public service, whether it's local, state, federal government, you're there serving the constituents, depending on what the agency, what the department is. Currently now, I work for Catholic Charities, Diocese of Arlington. I'm program director for a senior center and just serving the needs of the seniors. And so I truly believe, and I had a former elected official tell me when I saw him a couple of years ago, he said, Juanita, you really are a true public servant. And that really meant a lot to me.
Wonderful. So the four-way test then means even more to you, would you say?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you apply that to your daily life? Yeah.
It's beneficial to all concerned. And, I definitely enjoy working on building goodwill and better friendships.
One of the challenges that Rotary is facing, as you know, is growth. How is your club addressing that?
Right now, we have our public image committee working to meet on a letter and brochure to the business community and getting back out to businesses within the Bailey's Crossroads community. One thing I would also like to do, and I know some of our Rotarians in the various communities are interested in a brochure that they can share within their HOA, their community association. A lot of them have like an intranet, like new services committee, letting homeowners know what service organizations there are. I know when I first joined, we had quite a few, for example, in the Sleepy Hollow communities, like Barcroft communities. And so I would like to see us reach back out with the neighborhoods having changed with, people have moved away or passed away and reaching to the current generation.
Along those same lines, because we do focus a lot on new members, what would you say is the best or key element for retaining members?
The best thing for retaining new members is getting them involved in our service projects. And I discussed all these, some of our community service projects. And that is really the fun part, getting together, the camaraderie and fellowship. But to get to that point, for us involves, the support to get to that point. And so right now we're engaging our Rotarians in raising the funds through our Mustang raffle, and people can learn more about it at bxrrotary.org, because in any club they have to have a mechanism, some fundraising mechanism to be able to support those projects. And that's how we do it, and through the Mustang raffle and getting our Rotarians involved during that process and that stage.
Okay. As you think about Rotary today and the needs of Rotary today, and we begin to think about closing out this program, what message would you like to leave with those young professionals or anyone else? Because I believe you have a school membership organization within your club. Is that correct? You at Justice High School, are you all still having your teachers and administrators are also Rotarians?
Yes.
What would you say to those young people or young professionals about becoming a Rotarian?
Certainly to young professionals, to check out whether it's our website or another Rotary Club's website. Within our club, our first year membership is at a reduced rate to allow especially our younger Rotarians to join, to get involved and learn more about Rotary. We certainly have, besides the Friday morning meetings with the happy hours, the community service projects, we have, through our website, we have a fantastic newsletter editor who sends that out every week before the meeting so Rotarians can learn about that. And we have a great director of public image who does a wonderful job on our social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and just staying connected.
So if anyone has a heart for giving back, if they want to learn more about Rotary, you've just given them an area that they can look at and learn. So I want to thank you, Juanita, for being here today and sharing your club with our greater audience in 7610. So thank you, and we look forward to you coming back again.
Well, I greatly appreciate it.
Funding for this program is made possible by the generosity of Rotarians David and Pat Borowski from Rotary District 7610, Virginia. For the Rotary Times program, I am your host, Rotarian Deborah Jackson from the Rotary Club of McLean, Virginia. You're welcome to join us at a Rotary Club in your area for either breakfast, lunch, dinner, or service project. You can find a club near you by looking us up on the internet. Many clubs are hosting meetings in person, virtually, or in some hybrid format. You only need to look us up for details. Remember, our time is your time, and it's time well spent. Please join us for our next program as we continue to celebrate Rotary's 117 years of service above self.